everyone. I'm Tom Hammond, and welcome to our special presentation, Breeders' Cup, the 10 greatest champions. Selecting great horses in the storied history of this event is not difficult. What is tough is to pare that list down to only 10. After all, nearly 100 Eclipse Award winners have participated in Breeders' Cup races. To better understand the significance of these 10 legendary racehorses is to better understand this extraordinary event. Since the beginning, the Breeders' Cup has been the international championship for nearly every division of thoroughbred racing. This 7-race, $10 million event, the richest single day in sports, has created everlasting memories for racing enthusiasts and has also become the platform to draw new fans to the sport. Millions have shared in the excitement of this unique event, either in person or on NBC's award-winning live television coverage. They've cheered on some of the greatest horses of all time and have cherished the memories provided by these remarkable equine athletes. Like other prestigious championships, the Breeders' Cup transcends horse racing. It is not merely a day in which enormous prizes are won by millionaire owners. It is also a day when a $2 winning ticket is worth more than money to the average fan. The Breeders' Cup, rather, is a celebration of this magnificent sport we call thoroughbred horse racing, and it is a day when champions are crowned. It didn't take long for the Breeders' Cup to make its mark, not just on horse racing, but on the entire sports world. In the 1984 inaugural running of the Breeders' Cup, the first entry on our list of 10 great champions turned in what is still the most dominating performance in the history of the Breeders' Cup. The Breeders' Cup distaff, contested at 1.25 miles, was a showdown between the best fillies and mares in the world. The overwhelming odds-on favorite was the gray mare Princess Rooney. Her stiffest challenge was supposed to come from Adored, ridden by Lafitte Pincay. The two had clashed earlier in the year in the Vanity Handicap, where the Princess reigned supreme. Dwayne Lucas saddled the 7-2 second choice Life's Magic, who in the summer held off Miss Oceana to win the Beldame. Princess Rooney, ridden by Eddie Delahousie and riding the crest of a 4-race winning streak, was a lock for an Eclipse Award, provided she was able to outrace her talented rivals.
And they're off. Princess Rooney is out fast, and Lucky is also right there for the early lead. Comedy Act, and farthest out from the rail, it's Adored. So 4 of them will vie for the lead as they race for the turn. Closest to the rail, it's Lucky, and Princess Rooney is moving right with her. Adored is 3 wide as they race into the turn. Comedy Act angles to the inside now. She's 4th by 2.5 lengths, and Life's Magic is 5th on the outside. Salt Spring toward the rail is racing in 6th, and the early trailer is Miss Oceana as the field moves round the turn. The first quarter went in 23-3. Lucky is prompted by Princess Rooney on the outside, but they're both in no hurry yet, and they're stalked by Adored on the outside, 3rd by 2.5 lengths, and Comedy Act has settled into 4th. Then farther back, Life Magic racing in 5th, Salt Spring, and Miss Oceana, 47-1. It's a comfortable pace as they continue up the backstretch. Now Princess Rooney is edging to the front. Lucky won't give up the lead. Those two hooked up early, and they're still going at it, and the tempo quickens as the field heads for the far turn. Lucky holding the lead by a neck. Princess Rooney right at her neck, 2nd by 2.5 lengths. Then farther back on the outside, Adored now, and she's put to a hard drive in 3rd. Comedy Act toward the inside is 4th. And here comes Life's Magic now, and she's making her move for the lead. But they're midway round the turn, and Princess Rooney has a head in front. Lucky is staying right with her. She's not through yet. Then farther back, it's Adored who swings to the outside 3rd, and Life's Magic is set down for the stretch drive. But it is Princess Rooney who comes to the final furlong with a 2.5 length lead. Princess Rooney, Eddie Delahousie now goes to the whip. She's in front by 3 lengths. And then it's Life's Magic now 2nd on the inside. Farther back, Adored is 3rd, and they're coming to the final 16th. Princess Rooney in a romp. Here is the champion. Here's the wire. Princess Rooney, an absolute runaway winner. And jockey Eddie Delahousie brandishes his whip in a salute of victory. This is the best filly in the land, Princess Rooney. An awesome performance this afternoon.
With her 7-length romp in the distaff, Princess Rooney still holds the Breeders' Cup record for largest margin of victory. Another look shows that Princess Rooney stayed close to the leader, Lucky, as the early fractions were run at a comfortable pace. With adored never far behind, the Princess made her move on the turn, where she took the lead, and then at the 8th pole unleashed an amazing stretch run that left the others far behind. It was the 5th straight win for the Princess, her 17th win in 21 starts, and amazingly, she was in the money for the 20th time in her 21 career starts. Princess Rooney ran the mile and a quarter in a then track record time, 2 minutes 2 2/5, a full second faster than Wild Again, who won that year's Breeders' Cup Classic. Princess Rooney was the hands-down Eclipse Award winner in her division and is certainly one of the 10 greatest horses in Breeders' Cup history. In 1986, on one of those spectacular Southern California afternoons, the $2 million Breeders' Cup Turf would be won in thrilling fashion. Contested at a grueling mile and a half on the Santa Anita Turf Course, the race featured numerous standouts. Durara, owned by the Aga Khan, was a 3-year-old Irish-bred colt who was a European champion. Manila, trained by Leroy Jolly, had won 7 of his last 9 races, including the Turf Classic at Belmont. Estrapad, a supplemental entry from Charlie Whittingham's stable, was coming off a dominating victory at the Arlington Million. But the 1-2 choice was the European Horse of the Year, Dancing Brave, who earlier in the year won the Arc de Triomphe in impressive fashion. Many were calling Dancing Brave a wonder horse who would go down in the annals as one of the best ever. Here's Tom Durkin with the call of the 1986 Breeders' Cup Turf.
They're in the gate, and they're off. And Manila comes away quickly for the lead, and there goes Estrapad. Toro puts her on the lead as they race into the first turn. Toward the inside, Theatrical now racing second. Duty Dances there on the outside, with Manila in between them. As they make their way around the first turn, it's Estrapad. She's out there by a length and a half, and Theatrical is giving chase in second. Duty Dance has been placed just off the lead on the outside third. Manila tucked along the inside fourth. The favorite Dancing Brave is fifth on the outside. Pillister is now sixth toward the rail in Ivor's Image as they cross over the dirt track. Then farther back are Dahar, and the trailer is Darara as the field passes us now for the first time. A mile to run in the Breeders' Cup Turf, and it's Estrapad. She's out there moving easily on the lead. Theatrical is in hand second. Manila an unhurried third. Duty Dance is fourth. Darara out of trouble and on the outside. Pillister is in tight toward the rail. And he's only 6 lengths off Estrapad as they move into the turn. And Dahar is the trailer. A slow pace, 47-2 for the first quarter. And it's Estrapad bounding along with an unchallenged lead. And Darara has moved into second. Theatrical tucked along the inside third by 3.5. Manila is racing fourth. And Dancing Brave is moving steadily now, fifth on the outside. They continue their run up the backstretch, 3 quarters and 1, 11-1. And it's still Estrapad unchallenged. Darara moving in closer. Theatrical toward the inside, and Dancing Brave is asked for more now. And he's making his move with a half mile to run. He's moved within 3.5 lengths of Estrapad. Manila toward the inside is racing in fifth position. Then Ivor's Image followed by Pillister. Duty Dance. Dahar's the trailer. And Estrapad has something left now. Estrapad is there by length and a half. Theatrical is racing second. Manila moving through toward the inside. Dancing Brave poised for the stretch drive on the outside fourth. Darara has dropped out of it as the field turns for home. Theatrical coming after Estrapad. Theatrical and Estrapad matching strides. Theatrical by ahead. Estrapad game coming back toward the inside. Manila is third, and Dancing Brave has been defeated, and they're coming to the wire, and it's Theatrical. Manila coming after him. Manila on the outside, and yes, Manila gets there in the final strides.
In a surprise to the nearly 70,000 in attendance, Dancing Brave was soundly beaten, and the turf division had a new king. Manila, Estrapad, ridden by California turf specialist Fernando Toro, assumed the early lead and set slow fractions, conserving strength for later. Meanwhile, Manila never trailed by more than a few lengths, waiting for the chance to make his move. Then with a half-mile left, Dancing Brave made his move, with Manila fifth and Estrapad still in command. But down the stretch, Dancing Brave ran out of gas, and jockey Jose Santos made a great move, getting Manila off the rail and into position to unleash a furious stretch run. And despite losing his whip only a few yards from the finish, Santos was able to hand-ride Manila past Theatrical to win the race in the final strides. One of the great joys of horse racing is to sit around and debate who is the greatest racehorse of all time. Well, many would say Secretariat, of course. His dominating performance in the 1973 Belmont Stakes to complete the Triple Crown is one of the greatest moments in the history of sports. Now, the Breeders' Cup came too late for Secretariat's racing career, but nevertheless, in 1986, his name went into the record books thanks to his magnificent daughter, Lady Secret. In the 1986 distaff, all eyes were on Lady Secret, who had won 9 races that year going into the Breeders' Cup. At Saratoga in the Whitney, Lady Secret had no trouble with the sloppy track and easily beat a strong field, including colts. Then it was on to the Miesque at Belmont, where the gray mare pulled away to win it by 7 lengths. Next up, the Ruffian at 1 1/8, and the results would be the same, an impressive 8-length victory. But in the Beldame, contested at the distaff length of 1 1/4 miles, Lady Secret had to hold off weaker challengers to win. Was she beatable? Let's find out by looking back at the 1986 Breeders' Cup distaff.
They're in the gate, and they're off. And Lady Secret comes away running with the lead. Twilight Ridge is there toward the inside. Franz Valentine in between horses. Shy Wing on the outside, outstandingly toward the rail as they pass us for the first time. And it's the gray daughter of Secretariat taking the field past the stands in front by 1.5 lengths. And Franz Valentine to prompt the early pace from second. On the outside at Shy Wing, outstandingly saving ground toward the rail. Twilight Ridge is in between horses along with Magnificent Lindy. She's up close, only 3 lengths off the lead. Then farther back, Classy Cathy and Paradise is the trailer. And Lady Secret opens up now. Lady Secret getting clear by 4.5 as they make their way to the backstretch. Franz Valentine is now masked for more run. Outstandingly is now third toward the rail. On the outside, Twilight Ridge is racing fourth. 23 flat for the quarter, 46-1 for the half mile as they continue their run up the backstretch. Pat Day is nursing Lady Secret on a 5.5 length lead. Franz Valentine on the outside is a distant second toward the inside. It's outstandingly third. Twilight Ridge is racing in fourth position. Shy Wing. Classy Cathy is now launching her bid and moves through toward the inside. Magnificent Lindy is now 8 lengths off the lead. Paradise trails, and they're getting closer to the Iron Lady. It's Lady Secret now. Her lead's been cut to 3.5 lengths. Outstandingly second now toward the inside. Franz Valentine and Twilight Ridge. But it is Lady Secret who puts it in another gear as they turn for home. She leads by 5 at the top of the stretch. Outstandingly second toward the inside is now set down for the drive. Franz Valentine on the outside third, and they're coming to the final furlong. Lady Secret in front by 4. Franz Valentine, outstandingly, Classy Cathy, and here is a brilliant champion. Lady Secret, another flawless performance.
Lady Secret turned in an awesome display to win it wire to wire. When the gates opened, jockey Pat Day wasted no time getting his talented mare to take the early lead. She led the field as the horses passed the grandstand for the first time and never looked back. On the turn toward the backstretch, Lady Secret opened up a commanding 4.5 length lead. Then with just 1/8 of a mile left, she turned the race into a rout. That magnificent performance in the Breeders' Cup Distaff earned Lady Secret horse racing's highest honor, Horse of the Year. Tinseltown was again the host for the 4th Breeders' Cup, and the Hollywood Park crowd of nearly 60,000 retreated to the making of a racing legend. 14 horses were vying for the $1 million Breeders' Cup Mile. Sonic Lady was the lukewarm 3-1 favorite. The next choice was European champion Miesque, who had 5 wins in 7 previous starts that year and had never finished out of the money. Another European horse, Milligram, was one of the few horses to ever beat Miesque. Double Feint was a well-regarded long shot who liked to come from off the pace like he did at Santa Anita a couple of weeks earlier. Here's Tom Durkin with the call of the 1987 Breeders' Cup Mile.
And they're off. And Show Dancer is hustled away quickly for the lead. Deputy Governor is also right there with that one. And Temperate Soul will get caught wide going into the turn. And La Belvedere is up close early. He's running in 4th position. Miesque saving ground all the way. Short Sleeves is now running in 6th position. Sonic Lady came away 7th, and she's nestled in along the rails, saving ground. Duluth is 3 wide round the first turn, running in 8th. Explosive Darling is now 9th. Milligram came away 10th. Highest Honor is 11th on the outside. Double Feint has come away running in 12th position. Centelamac has 1 horse beaten. That is Long Shot Air Display as they continue up the backstretch. Show Dancer and Temperate Sill, his gray shadow down the backstretch. Then a gap of 3 to Deputy Governor is in between horses. Miesque is beginning to gain ground now toward the rail. And in between horses, Short Sleeves is also right there as they continue up the backstretch. The half, a quick one, 45 3/5 seconds. Show Dancer trying to take it wire to wire. Temperate Sill still sticking with them on the outside. Short Sleeves driving hard, asks for more run. And Miesque will need racing room for the drive. Then farther back, Sonic Lady, only 4 lengths off the lead as the field turns for home in the Breeders' Cup Mile. And it is Show Dancer bearing out. The rail opens up for Miesque, and Freddie Head sends Miesque right on through. Here comes Miesque now to take a short lead. Show Dancer is right there on the outside, and Sonic Lady putting in her run toward the rail. But it is Miesque, and Miesque is going to win it. And Freddie Head with a brilliant race ride. We said it was going to be a rider's race, and that it was indeed. Freddie Head saving every bit of ground, and he went on to win the Breeders' Cup Mile.
Miesque was simply too much for this field of milers. At the top of the stretch, Miesque's jockey Freddie Head was looking for racing room on the rail, and when the chance presented itself, they seized it and not only passed Show Dancer and Sonic Lady, but Miesque went on to win the mile in a course record time and later was awarded an eclipse as top grass female. But it wasn't until the following year at rainy Churchill Downs that Miesque would make Breeders' Cup history. The 1988 season saw Miesque race lightly, yet she had won 2 of her 3 starts. The race favorite was another European champion, Warning, who in August ran nearly step for step with Miesque before ultimately losing at Deauville. Another challenger was Arlington Million winner Mill Native, and long shot lovers were looking towards Simply Majestic with Angel Cordero aboard. The $1 million mile race would be contested on the 3-year-old Churchill Downs turf course. Once again, here's Tom Durkin with the call.
And they're off. Bet Twice breaks alertly. Steinlen was also out fast. Simply Majestic is hustled away, and Master Christopher now sprinting up from the outside to grab the early lead. It's Master Christopher now who goes on with it. Simply Majestic is gathered back in 2nd. Mohammed Abdu is away well in 3rd position. Steinlen is 4th toward the inside. Niccolo Polo on the outside now running in 5th place, and Ravenella now 6th toward the rail, and she's hustled up. Blushing John is now racing in 7th. Miesque was 3 wide round the first turn. She's now 10 lengths off the lead. And then it is Mill Native, followed by Belmont Stakes winner Bet Twice. Warning has 1 horse beaten, and that is Posen. Warning is 15 lengths off the lead of a free-running Master Christopher. He leads by 3 lengths now, halfway through the Breeders' Cup Mile. Simply Majestic kept within striking distance. 2nd, Steinlen tucked nicely along the inside in 3rd. Mohammed Abdu is now asked for run, and there he goes. And Niccolo Polo is moving with him. And Miesque is now moved within 4.5 lengths of the lead. It's a gap of 6 lengths to Ravenella and Warning, who's just beginning to get underway. They're coming to the top of the stretch now. Niccolo Polo on the outside. Simply Majestic toward the rail. Those 2 are head-to-head. And here comes the French filly, Miesque, charging hard on the outside. Steinlen is now 4th, and now they're down to the final furlong. Miesque is charging hard to take the lead now. She's looking for back-to-back wins in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and she's leading by 3 and pouring it on, pulling away impressively here. Miesque has won it. Oh, Miesque, what a filly. And Freddie Head does it again.
For the second straight year, Miesque was simply overpowering in the mile. Freddie Head had Miesque near the lead down the stretch. Then with just an eighth of a mile left, Miesque not only caught the leaders, but blew past them to win by 4 lengths. Miesque once again was honored with an Eclipse Award and became the first horse to win back-to-back Breeders' Cup championships. Miesque wasn't the only mare to shine under the cloudy Kentucky skies. The 1988 $1 million Breeders' Cup distaff was contested at 1 1/8 miles on the muddy main track at Churchill Downs. The race was shaping up as a near-match race between Personal Ensign and Winning Colors. Personal Ensign was rewriting the racing record book into her left hind leg. She entered the Breeders' Cup undefeated, victorious in her 12 previous races, and the distaff was to be her last race before retirement. Standing in her way, a formidable opponent, Winning Colors, who earlier in the year had won the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. The two battled earlier in the summer at the Miesque at Belmont Park. Winning Colors led for much of the race, but Personal Ensign caught her in deep stretch to win by a length. Personal Ensign was the 1-2 favorite in one of the most thrilling Breeders' Cup races you'll ever see.
Street at 12, and they're up in the distaff. Goodbye Halo broke well in Winning Colors now, and she's going to run right on the lead early. Well, On the Move has come out running in third, and she's taken in hand. Integra now has been gathered back in fourth position as they head for the first turn. Personal Ensign was away in good order now. She'll be floated a bit wide going into the turn by Sham Say. Epitome is saving ground all the way on the inside. And then Classic Crown is one horse beaten, and that is Hail the Cab as they round the first turn. And the Derby winner is loose on the lead. It's Winning Colors now, and she's opened up by 4.5 lengths. Goodbye Halo is second, and Vasquez asking Sham Say for run now third toward the inside. Willa On the Move is racing in fourth. Integra is fifth on the outside. Personal Ensign, the undefeated filly, is now 9 lengths off the lead as they continue up the backstretch. It's still Winning Colors, loose on the lead by 2.5. Sham Say is running second. On the outside, Goodbye Halo in striking position is third. Willa On the Move is asked for more, run fourth. Personal Ensign is still 8 lengths out of it. There's a half mile to run, and Winning Colors doing what she did in the Derby. She's still free running on the lead. 3 furlongs to run, and she leads now by 3. Goodbye Halo beginning to pick it up in second now. Sham Say is third toward the rail. Personal Ensign is putting her run in on the inside now, and she takes to the outside. 5 lengths off the lead of Winning Colors, who turns for home here at Churchill Downs. Stevens going to a vigorous left-handed whip, holding on by 2. Goodbye Halo is charging hard. Here comes Personal Ensign, unleashing a furious run on the outside, but it is still Winning Colors. Goodbye Halo. Personal Ensign, a 16th of a mile from the wire. Winning Colors is there. Personal Ensign, a dramatic finish, and here is the wire, and it is Personal Ensign there with Winning Colors in a photo.
Incredibly, Personal Ensign won the race in a photo finish. The record crowd of 71,000 treated to one of the greatest races in recent times. Looking again at the race, Derby winner Winning Colors with Gary Stevens aboard flashed her blazing speed and took command early in the race, leading Personal Ensign by 9 lengths down the back stretch. Through the stretch, Winning Colors was still racing strongly and held on to the lead. But with just a 16th of a mile remaining, Randy Romero aboard Personal Ensign made her charge and got to the wire just a nose in front of Winning Colors to win the 1988 Breeders' Cup distaff and become the first champion racehorse in the modern era to retire undefeated. One of the great rivalries in the history of horse racing was the 1978 Triple Crown duel between Affirmed and Alydar. Affirmed beat Alydar in all 3 of those races, but Alydar would prove to be the better sire. One of his sons was a Breeders' Cup champion, the brilliant Alysheba. In the 1987 Breeders' Cup Classic, Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Alysheba took on another Kentucky Derby champion, Ferdinand. The race was one of the most memorable in Breeders' Cup history.
Alysheba on the outside, Ferdinand, Jajajaluki on the outside, Alysheba, Ferdinand has the lead, Alysheba, a final surge, the 2 Derby winners hit the wire together, Ferdinand and Alysheba in a dramatic photo finish in the world's richest horse race.
Alysheba had to settle for second place then, but in 1988 he was campaigning for Horse of the Year honors and won 6 of his 8 starts that season, including the Woodward at Belmont Park. The field for the mile-and-a-quarter Breeders' Cup Classic, contested on the dirt course at Churchill Downs, was a strong one, though, and featured 49er, who had earned $1.8 million that season. The better second choice was the gray colt Waquoit, who liked the mud and the lead. But as darkness began to fall over Louisville, Alysheba was on the verge of making racing history.
Now time for the jewel in the crown, the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic, and they're off! Slew City Slew breaks alertly, and 49er is moving right with him. Waquoit is out for the early lead now, and Cutlass Reality on the outside. Alysheba's come out 5th. And as they pass beneath the twin spires for the first time, it's the gray New Englander Waquoit with a short lead. Slew City Slew is running right with them early. They're moving at a lively pace now. They've opened up 5 lengths on Cutlass Reality 3rd. Alysheba is off the rail racing 4th. Then farther back, 49er has been taken back in 5th position. And the 2 Phipps color bearers are running together, seeking the golden personal flag. Then a gap of 4 lengths back to Crypto Clearance, who's allowed to settle in an early gallop. And Lively One trails the classic field as they make their way into the backstretch. Waquoit pressed all the way by Slew City Slew. Those two continue as a speed duel continues on down the backstretch. Cutlass Reality is 5 lengths off them in 3rd. It's another 4 to Alysheba now, who is 8 lengths off the lead. And just to his inside, 49er now. Julie Crone asking him for run. A half mile out, and now the field moving for the far turn. It is Waquoit now beginning to shake loose from Slew City Slew. Cutlass Reality is moving in closer 3rd. Alysheba begins to roll now. He's making his move as they round the far turn. And then Personal Flag and Seeking the Gold are both moving together now as they come to the top of the stretch. Crypto Clearance is kicking in now, and he's moving into contention. He's just 5 lengths off the lead. Then it's Lively One. 49er is now the trailer as the field comes to the top of the stretch. It is Cutlass Reality and Waquoit. Alysheba set down for the drive. Personal Flag is moving through an opening toward the rail. Seeking the Gold on the outside. They're coming to the final furlong. Waquoit is tenacious. Alysheba is right there. And on the outside, Seeking the Gold. Alysheba with a short lead. He's unyielding. Seeking the Gold. A final move as they come to the wire. And Alysheba, America's horse, has done it. Alysheba returns to the site of his greatest victory, and he does it here again at Churchill Downs. Alysheba wins the world's richest horse race, and he's now the world's richest horse.
The race shaped up pretty much as expected, with the gray horse Waquoit and Slew City Slew taking the early lead. Along the backstretch, that same pair opened up a commanding 9-length lead over the late-running Alysheba. But as is so often the case, this race was won in deep stretch when Alysheba surged forward and held off a late charge by Seeking the Gold in the middle of the track. By winning the $3 million Classic, Alysheba became racing's richest horse and was later named the 1988 Horse of the Year. Picturesque Gulfstream Park was the setting for the 1989 Breeders' Cup Championship, and one of the most exciting races that year was the $1 million distaff. The odds-on favorite was the 5-year-old Argentinian mare Bayakoa, winner of 8 races in 9 starts that season. In the Ruffian at Belmont, she beat 4 of the horses entered in the distaff. In the Spinster Stakes at Keeneland, Bayakoa was on the lead throughout and romped to an 11.5-length win over Goodbye Halo. Goodbye Halo, however, did beat Bayakoa earlier in the year and by 15 lengths. Open Mind had a 10-race winning streak before losing her last 2. And Gorgeous was the better second choice, coming off an impressive second-place finish to Open Mind in the Mother Goose Stakes. Add former Kentucky Derby winner Winning Colors to the field, and the distaff figured to be a close race.
Ready for the start of the Breeders' Distaff, and they're off. Goodbye Halo breaks alertly. Nasty pinch back at the start toward the inside. It's Highest Glory. Bayakoa, Wonder's Delight on the outside now. Here comes Wonder's Delight to take the early lead, and Bayakoa toward the inside. Highest Glory is just in behind them now, and the Derby filly Winning Colors will be 3 wide going into the turn. Colonial Waters is up close early, just 4.5 lengths off the lead. Goodbye Halo is rating in 6th position now. It's 2.5 lengths back to Gorgeous, who's moving easily, about 8 lengths off the lead. Then farther back, Open Mind is settled into an easy early gallop. The trailers are Rose's Cantina and Nastique, who was pinched back at the start. The opening quarter was slow, 24 2/5 seconds. Wonders the Light set the pace. And now Bayakoa is going to take a run for the lead now on the outside. There goes Bayakoa after the lead. Then just off them on the outside, Highest Glory is kept close. In 3rd position, 2 lengths back, and Colonial Waters is moving well in 4th. Gorgeous is still racing in 5th position now, and she's beginning to pick it up. The field now moving for the far turn. 48-4, the pace was slow, and now Bayakoa takes the lead and pulls clear as they round the far turn. Wonders the Light, her job done. She's dropping out of it now. Highest Glory is coming after Bayakoa, who is in full stride. She's opening up here by 3. Highest Glory is 2nd, and now Gorgeous is asked for run, and she's going to move through toward the inside. From the back of the pack, Open Mind is gathering momentum, but she is 7 lengths off the lead of Bayakoa, who comes for home now, entering the final furlong. And Gorgeous with a bold late run toward the rail. Bayakoa is put to a fierce drive, trying to hold on by 2. Gorgeous trying to catch her, running out of ground. Bayakoa is got it. Bayakoa wins by 2 lengths.
With Hall of Fame jockey Lafitte Pincaille aboard, Bayakoa was always in good position. Along the backstretch, Winning Colors was showing the way, but Bayakoa was a close second. Then around the turn, Bayakoa showed why she's a great champion as she took the lead. At the 8th pole, Gorgeous made a move, but Bayakoa held her off to take the 1989 Breeders' Cup Distaff. The following year, Bayakoa was back, looking to repeat in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. And she certainly looked like a champion. In the Spinster Stakes 3 weeks before the Breeders' Cup, she won the race in stakes record time. But it was the brilliant 3-year-old filly Go for Wand that was the odds-on favorite. Go for Wand had won 7 of 8 races entering the Breeders' Cup, including the Beldame on the same Belmont Park racetrack which hosted that year's Breeders' Cup. Here's Tom Durkin with the call.
Distaff, and they're off. And it's a perfect start with Valet Maid going for the lead. Mistorian is there, Colonial Waters, Bayakoa away in good order, and Go for Wand just to her inside. They begin their long run down the Belmont backstretch, and Bayakoa is eager for the lead. Lafitte Pincaille trying to throttle her speed, and Go for Wand is going to run with her, so the battle is joined early. Mistorian just off them. Then the long striding Colonial Waters is settled nicely in behind the pacemakers in 4th. Valet Maid is 5th by 4. Then flags waving, and the bright roan Luthier's launch down the backstretch, and Go for Wand now has taken the lead. Bayakoa right there just off her flank, and those two now lead the way as they move toward the half-mile pole, with Colonial Waters trying to stay with them in 3rd. The quarter went in 23 2/5 seconds. They've run a half in 46 2. A chess game down the backstretch. Randy Romero moves with Go for Wand. Pincaille counters with Bayakoa, and those two, the tempo quickening now, and a clash of champions midway round the far turn here at Belmont Park. They pulled away from 3. Colonial Waters is racing in 3rd position, and Mistorian is 4th. They hooked up at the start. They're in a cutthroat duel. Go for Wand holding on to a short lead. Bayakoa is right at her throat, and they have dueled through 3/4 of a mile in 1:10 2. Bayakoa on the outside, a short lead. Go for Wand is unwavering toward the rail. Those two stride for stride. Go for Wand on the inside. Bayakoa battling back, a dramatic distaff.
Bayakoa went on to win her 2nd consecutive distaff, but unfortunately her victory was bittersweet due to the tragic fall of Go for Wand. Nevertheless, Bayakoa was a great champion, only the 2nd horse in Breeders' Cup history to win back-to-back championships. The 1989 Breeders' Cup Classic, featuring superstars Easy Goer and Sunday Silence, was truly a race for the ages. Easy Goer, sired by the great Alydar, had the bloodlines of a champion. Meanwhile, Sunday Silence was from more ordinary stock. But racing greatness is determined on the track, and Sunday Silence was victorious in the Kentucky Derby. He also won the 2nd jewel of the Triple Crown, beating Easy Goer in the Preakness by a nose. But Easy Goer spoiled Sunday Silence's Triple Crown dreams, winning the Belmont Stakes in a romp. Easy Goer entered the Breeders' Cup riding a 5-race winning streak, including the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Meanwhile, Sunday Silence had mixed success, having been beaten by a stretch-running Prized in the Swap Stakes. The race was also a heavyweight battle between two of the sport's top jockeys. Pat Day burst into national prominence, winning the inaugural Breeders' Cup Classic aboard Wild Again. Sunday Silence was ridden by Chris McCarron, who that year was inducted into racing's Hall of Fame. The two champions were from the barns of two of the top trainers in the world. Shug McGahee was the East Coast top young trainer who had Easy Goer poised for victory. Charlie Whittingham is one of the great trainers of all time and considered Sunday Silence the greatest horse he ever saddled. Even the owners had an amazing storyline. Easy Goer was from Ogden Phipps stable and was the product of nearly a century of successful breeding. Phipps is one of the most prominent figures in thoroughbred history. He kept his prize champions at Claiborne Farm, founded by Bull Hancock. When Bull died, the executors of his estate awarded Seth Hancock presidency of the farm, bypassing Seth's older brother Arthur. Arthur was determined to make his mark on the sport so dear to him, and he founded Stone Farm and built it into a racing powerhouse, breeding two Kentucky Derby winners. With Horse of the Year honors in the balance, here's Tom Durkin with the call of the 1989 Breeders' Cup Classic.
Sunday Silence, the Derby and Preakness winner, will move into post position number 8. Poised in the gate, Belmont winner, Easy Goer in post position 1. They're standing in line, and they're off. Sunday Silence breaks alertly. Easy Goer was off a step slow toward the inside. Slew City Slew, Blushing John, and Present Value. And they're passing us now for the first time. Slew City Slew is out to take the early lead now, and he's opened up a quick lead here of 2.5 lengths. Blushing John is second down the outside. Present Value is third. Sunday Silence is rating in fourth position. He's 6 lengths off the lead. Miselecto is seventh. 4 lengths back to Easy Goer. He is 10 lengths off the lead of Slew City Slew as they move into the first turn, and the trailers are Crypto Clearance and Western Playboy. Slew City Slew, and he zipped the opening quarter in 22 2/5 seconds. A brazen display of early speed in this 1.25 mile classic. Blushing John is tracking him as they make their way onto the backstretch now. Sunday Silence poised on the outside third. Present Value to his inside. Then Miselecto. Easy Goer is yet to do his best running. He is still 9 lengths off the lead of Slew City Slew. He's 5 lengths behind Sunday Silence, and now he's beginning to roll. They've run a half mile in 46 1/5 seconds. Slew City Slew weakening on the lead. Blushing John has been tracking him all the way. Sunday Silence bracing for the oncoming power of Easy Goer, who's right at his neck, and the stage is set with 3 furlongs to run in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Blushing John taking the lead, 3/8 of a mile out. It's Blushing John in front. Sunday Silence on the outside, gearing up now. He's left Easy Goer 2.5 lengths behind. They're coming to the top of the stretch, and Blushing John is under a hand ride. He leads by 1.5 lengths. Sunday Silence, a threatening presence on the outside. Easy Goer is set down, and he's put to a fierce drive. Coming to the final furlong, Sunday Silence surges to the front. Blushing John trying to fight back. Easy Goer with one final acceleration, and Sunday Silence holds on, and he wins by a desperate neck. Easy Goer was too late, not enough to win it, and it was Sunday Silence in a racing epic.
Sunday Silence and Easy Goer made the classic live up to its unbelievable expectations. Along the backstretch, Sunday Silence was stalking the leader, Slew City Slew, and Easy Goer charged to stay close to his rival. And the rest is one of the greatest finishes in thoroughbred racing history, as Sunday Silence made a huge move to take the lead, blowing past Blushing John. Pat Day made a thundering late charge aboard Easy Goer, but Sunday Silence held off his old rival to win racing's richest race, the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic, to earn an Eclipse Award as Horse of the Year. The Breeders' Cup returned to Gulfstream in 1992 and was greeted with sunny skies. The Breeders' Cup Mile was supposed to be the triumphal return of European Arazi, who had won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile the previous year. But Lure, with Mike Smith aboard, was a speed demon who loved the lead. Here's Tom Durkin with the call.
And they're off. Lotus Pool shows speed. Lure is right there from the inside in 49er days, and there goes Luthier Enchanteur to grab a lead under the line the first time. 3 of them now vying for the lead. It's Lure toward the inside now, grabs a short lead. On the outside, 49er Days pressing. Luthier Enchanteur backs off. Arazi is up close, and he hugs the hedge, saving ground all the way. 4 Stars All-Star is running 5th in between horses. Paradise Creek is 6th and gaining ground on the outside. Exit to Nowhere is 7th, about 7 lengths from the lead. Thunder Region is 8th. Selkirk is 9th toward the inside. Lotus Pool is running in 10th. Then Cardoon and Bistro Garden. Brief Truce is 2nd to last, and the trailer is Val de Bois, 15 lengths from Lure, who blazes the way up the backstretch. He got an opening quarter in 22 and 4, and a come and get me half in 45 and 4. They're a half mile out, and Lure leads the way. 49er Days right there. Luthier Enchanteur on the outside. He's right there running in 3rd. Arazi is only 2 lengths from the lead. As they enter the far turn, 4 Stars All-Star is right alongside Arazi. Then it's Paradise Creek and Selkirk, who's in behind a wall of horses. Exit to Nowhere's in cramped quarters, but they have to catch Lure as they turn for home. He spurts away from the field by 4. Luthier Enchanteur is now running 2nd. 49er Days. Arazi does not have it. Paradise Creek on the outside. Lure running a huge race this afternoon. He's in front by 4. Brief Truce is coming fast, but he's coming too late. Lure does it in front running style. He won by 3. Paradise Creek 2nd, followed by Brief Truce. Look at this time. He destroyed the track record. 1 minute 32 and 4/5 seconds. What an effort by Lure.
Lure, who loved to race on the lead, set the early pace with Arazi not far behind in 3rd place. Lure set a blistering pace for the first half mile and began to stretch his lead. And as the field made the run for the wire, Arazi was nowhere to be found, as Lure set a course record and won the Breeders' Cup Mile by 3 lengths. Lure and Mike Smith returned to try and repeat in the Breeders' Cup Mile the following year at Santa Anita. 12 other horses stood in the way of Lure winning back-to-back Breeders' Cup championships. Once again, here's Tom Durkin.
And they're off. Flawlessly broke well. Ski Paradise is there with 4 Stars All-Star. Paradise Creek is in among horses, and Lure a bit wide as they head onto the first turn. Under the line the first time, and a charge, a crush of horses moving for the first turn. And Lure is caught 5 wide into the turn. Ski Paradise benefits from her inside post position now, and she goes wide and took many of them with her. Also going wide there was Barathea. The field rounding the turn now after an eventful move into the turn. Lure was taken wide, but now he goes on to take the lead. Ski Paradise, who was the culprit, is now back running in 2nd. 4 Stars All-Star is 3rd. Paradise Creek 4th. On the outside, Leck running in 5th. Flawlessly is now 6th. Wolfhound 7th, followed by his mate Catral is moving up. Barathea moves through an opening toward the inside. Big Stone is being helped along with the half mile to run now. Then it's Two Sows near the back of the pack and in behind horses, followed by Buckar and Johann Quatz. The half, a grueling 45 and 4, and Lure is trying to go it on the lead again. It's Lure the leader, pressured by 4 Stars All-Star. Ski Paradise is now dropped back into 3rd, and then it's Barathea who's now 4th in between horses. Paradise Creek on the outside is running in 5th. Big Stone looking for a big run now, and he's threading his way through between horses, but Lure looking for a repeat win in the mile. The leader a length and a half with a furlong from the line. Ski Paradise is resurgent again. 4 Stars All-Star. Big Stone is flattened out, and they're coming down to the line, and it will be Lure once again overcoming trouble on the first turn, and he goes on to a clear-cut and decisive repeat victory in the mile.
The race may well have been decided as the horses made their way past the grandstand and into the clubhouse turn. Ski Paradise on the lead went wide through the turn, taking many horses with him, but Lure steered clear of the incident to take the lead. From there, Lure never surrendered the lead, and deep into the stretch he broke away from the field under a hand ride by Mike Smith. With the victory, Lure became just the 3rd horse ever to win back-to-back Breeders' Cup championships. The final horse in our salute to the 10 greatest champions in Breeders' Cup history has taken his place among the legends of the sport. He is the incomparable Cigar.
As a 3- and 4-year-old, he was as ordinary as a nickel cigar. But he had Bill Mott behind him, the trainer who put Cigar on dirt and gave him the chance to be a winner. And Alan Paulson, the millionaire owner, who was given Cigar as a gift from his wife.
Here comes
comes Cigar uncorking his rally. Cigar explodes. Cigar opening up in mid-stretch. Cigar there by a length. It's Cigar past the 16th hole.
Cigar's perfection has given life to the dreams of these two men from the Midwest. For Alan Paulson, racetracks and winner's circles were a long way off from his hometown in Clinton, Iowa.
I was on my own 13, and my mother was in a sanitarium, and my mother and father was divorced, and my father had left and went to the West Coast, and I worked locally for a couple of years in Clinton, Iowa, my hometown, in a family hotel where I used to mop the floors and clean the bathrooms and all that and go to school. But when I was 15, I had enough money to get on a Greyhound bus and went to Northern California and got a job on a farm up there and worked my way through high school. And after high school, I went to work for TWA Airline on a minimum 30 cents an hour as an apprentice mechanic.
From apprentice mechanic to pilot, designer, and by the time he was 56 years old, Alan Paulson created Gulfstream Aerospace Corporation, a company that sells planes like the G4, a product worth $25 million. He started investing in racehorses in 1983 and has already won 3 Breeders' Cups. But Cigar, this gift from his wife, could be his greatest victory so far. Like Alan Paulson, Bill Mott grew up in the Midwest, Mobridge, South Dakota, 2 hours from almost anything except horses and cattle.
I think the only thing I ever thought I might be is a cowboy of some sort. I never could imagine myself training racehorses at Belmont Park.
Jerry Bailey has ridden Cigar to every one of his victories this year. He cares more about Cigar's record than his own 4th Classic win. The trinity behind Cigar: quiet, humble, and pinning their hopes on a horse who has been anything but ordinary.
Belmont Park, Cigar's home racetrack, was host to the 1995 Breeders' Cup. Cigar was seemingly invincible, entering the race with an 11-race winning streak. But there were plenty of challengers to the King's throne, and the main threat was thought to be from Sheikh Mohammed's European racing empire. Halling had his own winning streak of 8 races, but he had never run on firm dirt tracks like the one at Belmont Park, like the one Cigar had dominated so thoroughly. Cigar was the prohibitive odds-on favorite for the race. A victory in the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic would make Cigar a shoo-in for Horse of the Year honors. Here's Tom Durkin with the call.
And they're off. French Deputy Star Standard strikes out for the lead immediately, and he is aggressively ridden here. Star Standard to the lead, and Cigar is keyed up today. Very competitive, and he's right up there close for the inside Le Carrière. They make the bend toward the backstretch. Star Standard leads. Le Carrière pressing on the inside. Jerry Bailey with a hard hold of the pent-up power of Cigar, restrained in 3rd. Peaks and Valleys in the clear on the outside 4th. Unaccounted for is 5th. French Deputy from off the pace today. England's Halling is now 7th on the outside. Tinner's Way is next. Then it's Solo the Matter, who's down on the fence about 9 lengths from the lead. Jed Forrest and Concern is just where he was last year at this time. Last, about a dozen lengths from the front. The opening quarter went in 24 1/5 seconds. Star Standard on the outside. Le Carrière pressing for the lead with 6 furlongs to go. And Cigar wants to go to the lead, but Jerry Bailey says no, not yet. Unaccounted for, 4th toward the rail with 5 furlongs to run. The opening half mile went in 48 1/5 seconds. Solo the Matter now has to pick it up, and he threads his way through in between horses. Then farther back, it's French Deputy, who's only 3.5 lengths from the lead. Then Peaks and Valleys, followed by Halling. A break of 3 to Jed Forrest, followed by Tinner's Way. Concern is still last. 3 furlongs to go. Cigar! Cigar makes his move.
and he sweeps to the lead with a dramatic rush with 3 furlongs to go, and Jerry Bailey turns him loose, and he guides him down to the rail as the field turns for home. Unaccounted for down inside, a quarter of a mile between Cigar and a perfect season, coming down to the last furlong with a 2.5 length lead, and Jerry Bailey calls on Cigar for everything he has. The Carrier is a weakening second. On the inside, unaccounted for. On the outside, Solo the Manor. And here he is, the unconquerable, invincible, unbeatable Cigar. He has won it, and look at this time over this racetrack, 1:59 and 2. He beat the best the world could offer, and even Mother Nature too. There he is, Cigar.
Like he had done in his 11 previous races, Cigar proved to be invincible. As if he was aware of the significance of the race, Cigar was primed and had to be restrained by Jerry Bailey. Down the backstretch, he positioned Cigar in 3rd place. Entering the far turn, Cigar was still running easily and was close to the lead and in great shape to make his move. That move came midway through the turn as Cigar on the outside began to pour it on. Then in deep stretch, Cigar showed why he's such a great champion. He went on to win the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic for his 12th consecutive victory and was the hands-down choice for Horse of the Year honors.
In a short period of time, the Breeders' Cup has distinguished itself, not only because it's the richest day in sports, but because it's a gathering place of champions, a blank page of horse racing history with a new chapter waiting to be written. I'm Tom Hammond. Thanks for watching Breeders' Cup, the 10 greatest champions.